Good morning, all of you. So today's class will discuss about the stability of floating objects and some problems related to torque due to bind force and other conditions. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, we'll start with this problem. It's there in DPP. I just picked up the problem which is there from DPP. There's a metal ball is there suspended by thread of negligible mass from an upright cylinder that floats partially submerged in water. Cylinder has height 6 centimeter, area of face, and if the density of metal ball is 8 gram, then its radius is equal to. I think the problem is all about the more than one body if it floats, what conditions will arise here. Diagram straight away this. Okay, no. So what are the forces that will be acting? The tension force. Or first I'll start with this one, the weight of this. Here also liquid is present. Here also there'll be liquid is present. Later on I'll shade everything. Okay, let's get into the concept now. I think the diagram will not be neat. We'll draw once, no problem. Yeah. I'll set the diagram. This is a thread. Okay, the liquid is present till here. Now, look at the forces acting, the tension T. There's a tension, then what we have is the weight of this, I'll write W1. So here a buoyant force, FB1, and the weight of this cylinder. And the bottom and the density. So the weight of this be W2 and the buoyant force here, MB2. Under action of all this, it's in equilibrium. So what shall we write? It is immersed H2. More than one bodies, if they're connected and immersed, we are thinking. So what about the sphere? Sphere is fully immersed. What about the cylinder? It is partially immersed here. So now the tension will become internal force altogether. So what is the basic equation you can write? FB1 plus FB2 equal to W1 plus W2. What is the buoyant force? This will be of liquid rho L. Okay, this will be rho 1. The density, let this be rho 2. Density of liquid 4 by 3 pi r cube g. Density of liquid. Area of cross section we know. Volume immersed H2 g. The height of the cylinder given capital H. Okay, W1 no. So W1 will be density of cylinder rho 1 4 by 3 pi r cube g plus density of liquid A H g. Solving for R will get the required answer. Able to understand? Just simple analysis, nothing big. More than one body is partially immersed and one body is floating, other is fully immersed. Let it be no problem. And it's a string. It's a pure calculation, sir, nothing simple ideas. So you may expect questions of these kind. Can you do calculation later on? Because just only, I think anyway, you can eliminate G. All other conditions are given, substitute that, you'll get the required answer. Instead of sphere, if cone is there, so then what you're going to write here? Volume of the cone immersed. Fine. So this can be of different body, that one. Even this can be of different body. Only that volume immersed is what you have to work out here. So what about here? And even instead of string, you may bring spring. Spring, it is elongated or compressed. Based on that spring force you assume. Anyway, that will become internal in calculation of this. Okay, read the question now. A wooden cylinder of diameter 4r, height h and density rho by 3 is kept on a hole. So where is the hole? This is a hole. This is a hole. Of diameter 2r of a tank filled with liquid of density rho as shown. The level of liquid start decreasing. At what value of H1 the block starts rising up? Are you seeing the H1? This everything is a liquid. So I'll get the diagram. It's a hole, huh? So nothing to do. I think you should have that basic imagination. So it'll be a little bit easy for you. Huh? This much is there. So let the liquid be filled up to a certain height. So this everything is liquid. Huh? So I'll shade it later on. Okay, let's get into the problem. So what is the density of this rho by 3? This H. Till here is what? The H1. I think I need same diagram. Let me, right? Let's come for this one. So it is kept on the level. Okay, let's analyze now. So here what we have all. So what is the liquid? Liquid will exert force in this region. Liquid which is present on the top, here also it will exert a force. Then the weight of this will act. And the atmospheric pressure force, P naught into A1. Here, so we'll do one thing. I'll just write P naught into A1. This will write P1 into some A2. Here, P2 into symbols not. Yeah, A1. P2 into A. So we'll calculate pressure P2. So what is that value of H1 is asking? able to make it out, the things will be. So a wooden cylinder of diameter 4r, height h, and density rho r. So it is having its weight. So weight of the solid I'm writing. So let's equate all the things. It's in equilibrium. What is this question? The level of liquid start decreasing at what value of H1? The block starts rising up. I think we are just discussing equilibrium. The level of liquid further falls, the block is going to lose contact from this particular thing. So here everywhere liquid is present, I had to shade it. I'll show it later on. What is this? This force is exerted. The liquid is present here will exert force. The air which is present here will exert a force, atmospheric pressure. And the liquid present on the top will exert a force here. Sir, why you are not talking about buoyancy? Why we are not talking buoyancy? What is the problem? In this region, there's no liquid. So that's why what happened, I'm just going back to the hydrostatic force, the resultant force. Yes, sir, why we are not going for where this is immersed? You see that in this region, there's no liquid. So keeping that in mind, what will happen? Rather than going for buoyancy formula, I just taking the liquid present in this region will exert force. The liquid present on top will exert force. Here it is air, it will exert a force. Under action of all this in equilibrium, there is a minimum value of H1. Okay, let's write all the things. So what are the forces that are acting downward? Weight of the solid plus P2A. That should be equal to P0A1, P1A1. P1A1 I had to show on both sides. Actually, it is a cylinder, not a plane diagram. It's a 3D diagram. Try to imagine. It's a 3D diagram. So therefore, the liquid present here everywhere, circle it will be present.
Sir,
Ah,
sir, it will not be the same area, no, sir, as in the middle.
that's what I'm writing. Okay, this is a, okay, wait, this is symbols P naught, E naught, I'll write it. Huh? Okay, I think symbol, okay, A naught. Okay, fine. Hmm? So the different area of cross sections will come. What all? P naught, P2A, fine. P naught, A naught. Then P1, A1. Okay, that areas are very important. So let's get into this one. Weight of the solid, density rho by 3, area H into G. What is P2? Density of liquid, how much it is? Rho. Rho, density of liquid is rho G H1 into A. P naught. What to write A naught? A naught is what? 2R, no? So A naught will become pi R square. Am I right? Because the radius diameter of the hole is 2R. So what is A naught? A naught will be pi R square plus P1. So what is the pressure at point 1? Pressure at point 1 will be rho G H1 plus H. What to write A1? For your understanding purpose, I just draw a diagram. At least what is the diameter? This is 2R. Tell me where air will act in which region? Air will act in this region. The red color arrows, what happened, will act in this region. So I'll just shade it. Now, what do you mean by the red color? In this region is what? The liquid will exert force on the block. So it's a 3D diagram, student has to imagine. So you can't expect teacher will draw even the 3D diagram. You see, no? Fine, yeah. Okay, fine. This is, so this region is what? Force exerted by the area. Air will exert force in this region. Liquid will exert force on the cylinder in this region. This is what? Bottom of the cylinder. So what is this diagram? Bottom of cylinder. This is the cylinder. Huh? Where is the cylinder? This is the cylinder. I'll write in the diagram itself. This is the bottom of cylinder. So in this region, air will exert force here. Liquid will exert force. Tell me, like, what is this area? How to calculate this area? Pi into. How to calculate the area of the red color circular strip? Pi into 2r. Okay, look at all of you. We'll define what is A. What is A? We'll define here only. What is A? A should be equal to pi into 2r whole square. Solving this, we'll get H1. Getting the idea? The simplest method, nothing big is there. H1 okay, phi h by 3. If you solve for this H1 will become.
Yes, sir. 5
Say, are you getting to know why we should not go for buoyant force? All of you getting the idea? So when the buoyant force formula will come into picture, when it is completely immersed and everywhere at the bottom, if liquid is present, okay, the buoyant force formula is applicable. But here, here liquid is present, here there's no liquid. That's why I'm avoiding buoyant force formula. I think if you can, my intention is not to solve this question. My intention is like when to take buoyant force, though body is immersed, why we are not taking help of buoyant force. Buoyant force formula is applicable only when the liquid should be present at the total bottom of the cylinder. Got it? No? Okay, come for the second part. I'll scroll up. Huh? You can see this. Okay, the block is above. The block in the above question is maintained at position at equilibrium position by external means, and the level of liquid is lowered. The height H2 when this external force reduces to 0. So actually, what is the next part of the question? So here, the liquid is present only till here. So what about this? This will be air, air, 2R, and this is cylinder. No, the liquid is present only in this region. So what is this H1? H1 from where it is measured? H1 is measured from here. I think H2 it is. Then what's happened once the level falls to certain value, then the external force not needed. Again, we'll continue with the basic equations here. What are the weight of the cylinder? Atmospheric pressure force, P naught, A naught. Here the liquid present here will exert a force. P1 dash A1 of that because some other pressure no here and the atmosphere is present here, P naught A. Will agree the forces should be off like this because air is present here. Okay, then this is kept on ground. Let's get into the calculation part. At equilibrium, we are doing second part of the problem. Huh?
Sir,
Ah,
sir, external mass is also kept, no, sir.
read the question. The height h2 when this external force reduces to 0.
Okay, sir.
Without external force, with external force, what happens at the level of liquid h2 is there, no? So then external force is needed. Once at certain level, what happens? The external force not needed. Can you say what is the reason? Because the weight, what happen, will balance that particular thing. Just that external force reduces to 0 is telling.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now this one, P naught A plus WS should be equal to P naught A naught plus P1 dash A1. P naught into this will be pi 2R whole square. Weight of the solid. Weight of the solid will be density of solid rho 3 AHG is equal to P naught pi R square. P1 dash will be rho G H2 rho GH2 into area. I think already we have, once again, I'll put it 2R whole square minus pi R square. H2 is unknown, so that has to be determined. What happens the value of the level of liquid from where we are measuring the level of liquid from here? So I'll indicate this. If the level of liquid falls below that, definitely the weight what happen is able to overcome these two forces. Then the normal contact also will come. Just like the height H2 when this external force is to 0. The weight plus this atmospheric force will be balanced by these two forces. Sir, why you are not taking this in contact? The moment external force you remove it, no, these two forces will balance these two forces. So even this normal contact will not be there. If you decrease the level of liquid further, if you make H2 less than 4H by it is 9, huh? Not G, it is 9.
So you have to write P1 dash as P naught plus rho GH2.
Okay, did I miss anything? Okay, P naught is needed. No?
Previously also we
P naught plus rho G H1. Previous problem also I had to change.
yes, sir.
I didn't took. P naught plus we have to write, no? Okay. No, okay. Oh, I think atmosphere air is not given, no? A wooden cylinder diameter 4R at H. P naught will not get eliminated. Maybe air is not there, is neglecting atmosphere.
Sir, when we take like this, we are getting our answers.
With P naught, huh?
Yes, sir, with P naught, sir.
Okay,
Both questions.
okay, I'll do one thing. Yeah. Yeah. P naught, okay, P naught pi R square, P naught 2 pi R square. Yeah. Okay, do calculation.
Sir,
Um,
sir, could you read aloud the first part of this question, sir? The level of what is that?
the level of liquid
Okay, sir.
starts
Okay.
decreasing. At what value of H1 the block starts rising up. So just only you should not take the Bion force. Am I right? In that case, better to go for hydrostatic approach. That was my whole purpose here. Okay, you verify calculation. I'll go for the next part of the problem. Okay, I think this density, this should not be there. Huh? Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. So it's telling now, in one of them we put an ice ball of volume V equal to 100, which gets exactly half immersed in the water. What is half immersed means how much of water will be displaced? 50 cc of water will be displaced. In that 50 cc, so then, so the liquid will flow from one chamber to other chamber. No? For the level to remain same, 25 cc should flow out. You should not get involved in calculation. That's what I feel. You should not get involved in calculation. The moment when you drop it, 50 cc of water will be displaced. In that 50 cc, the water will rise. Because of rise in level of water, there'll be difference in level of liquids. The pressure here will be more than this. Then the liquid, then the water starts flowing here. How long that water will flow? Till the level becomes same. So 50 cc displaced here. So some 25 cc will float here. Then what will happen here? Weight of the displaced liquid. Weight of displaced liquid, how much it is now? 25 cc only. So the buoyant force will not be sufficient to support the weight. So therefore, what will happen? It will come and settle at the bottom. See, if this cylinder were not there, then okay, you can continue. If this cylinder were not there, okay, then half of it will be immersed, it will be there. Because some water will flow out here. So because of that, what happen? Finally, where do it will come and settle at the bottom. I think at least I'll draw a diagram. And this will be the final. Why should settle at the bottom? Because the weight of the displaced liquid. What is the weight of displaced liquid now? Not 50 cc will be how much? 25 cc. So buoyant force will be less than weight. So it will come and settle at the bottom. Though it is ice, actually what happened? The ice should float, no? But because of this cylinder, this condition is happening. I think you have to be very careful. You can't just stick to the formula. Okay, it will be like this only. You should have verified. So when it will be in equilibrium, so provided if it were like this, if the conditions were like this. Okay, now I'm very much justified. The buoyant force will be balanced by whom? Weight of the solid. Okay, this what happens. But here, what is the condition arising here? Strictly what will happen? The bind force is less than weight of solid. Bind force less than weight of solid. So what should happen to this ice cube, ice ball? It will go and settle at the bottom. Okay, there's one good question. I'll read the question. A solid cylinder of height h and mass m is floating in a liquid of density rho, as shown. Determine the magnitude and direction of the acceleration of the vessel containing liquid, for which the relative downward acceleration of the completely immersed cylinder with respect to vessel becomes equal to 1/3 of that of the vessel. You have to understand the question. So what is this entire problem? That I'll make. Okay, let's get into the question now. So this is the one-third is immersed in the liquid. Three h/4. H/4. Okay, this what is this sigma or weight will act? Here bind force FB1 or FB dash you call it. Density of the liquid is rho. So initially, what is the state of this? This is at rest. No, no. Okay, let's get into the. Let V be the total volume. So I don't need this. Okay, I'll leave it here now. No, any calculations can we make it here? Bind force should be equal to weight of the solid. So what is the bind force? So density of liquid 3/4, 1/4 is immersed, no? Into mg. So what is V is equal to 4m by 3 rho. So this is the volume of that cylinder. Now what will happen? The same thing, I'm going to accelerate it. Okay, some very good condition he has put it. Let's see that. Now it is not at rest, it is accelerating. So now what is the state of it? It is completely immersed. Determine the magnitude and direction of the acceleration of the vessel containing liquid, for which the relative downward acceleration of the completely immersed cylinder with respect to vessel becomes equal to 1/3 that of the vessel. If A is acceleration, A relative will be this much. So what is the bind force now? FP. With respect to vessel, it will be A relative. And tell me what is the equations I should write? Pseudo force also I should take, no? Because with respect to container means pseudo force I should take. In what direction pseudo force will be? MA. Even the bind force also effective G I should take it. That also you be careful. Okay, now let's write equation. MA relative is equal to mg plus MA minus FB. So this A relative, how much it should be? 1/3 of the vessel. What is the acceleration of the vessel? Let it be 3, this one. Let the acceleration of vessel be A. So this will be mg plus MA. Bind force, density of liquid, volume we don't know. As from previous condition I brought it. Into this should be G plus A, not G. effective G. One more step, I'll write it. What is the G effective? G plus C. Okay, fine. So solve this, we'll get the required answer. Okay, no. Anybody value A? Just give the value of A. Anybody just give me the value of A. Solve it, solve it. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just value of A, tablet it. Give me the value of A. Because with that, I'll interpret it. Substitute simple row V, what you can write? 4m by 3. Then m gets cancelled. So then only A in terms of G. Anybody value? Minus G by 2. Huh? Okay. What do you mean by this? I got negative minus G by 2. Negative sign is there. What to interpret here? It should be upward only. See, downward we took positive, upward negative. Will I agree? Look at the sign. Here. This is very important here. Huh? Downward, anything which is directed vertically downward is what? Positive. I got negative sign, so what I assumed is right. Okay, this one. Okay, like this, you do get questions where container relating that one. This is a very popular one. Okay, do think on that. After this. Can you hear me clearly, all of you?
Yes, sir. sometimes the voice is cracking, but it's okay, sir.
Actually, I came to, I'm not in my home, not in mobile data I'm using, and I'm continuing class. Okay, we'll see. I'm not at my place. Huh? So, okay, we'll continue. Yeah. Look at this one. He's asking calculate the amount of work done in pushing the block. So look at this, a cross section of wooden block and its height are A and H. The cross section area of container is 2A. A cynical wooden block of density of the density of water. Half the density. So here we'll make it. So this is the density sigma. This will be 2 sigma. Or 2 rho will write it. Rho. This is 2 rho. What is the work done? And just look at the area of cross section of container. That also has brought into picture. And there's a very simple problem. Let's analyze it. When X length is immersed, when X length gets into that one, so initially what will happen? H by 2. So I'll write all the conditions first. So that will be easy for us. And finally, the H length, what happen will get immersed. It will get totally into this one. Okay, I'll draw a parallel diagram to make you understand. Again, you'll get confused. Okay, I'll write separate here now. Huh? It's a purely diagram based. Huh? We have to fight with the diagram. Through diagram only things will be easier. So initial level of liquid. Okay, meanwhile, I'll draw the diagram. You also think it. There's a thing. Okay, initially the block is off immersed. This much is off immersed. Some X length, let it be immersed here. There's a rise in level of liquid. You can see now here. How much it was. See, it's all about diagram. Huh? I'm telling that it's all about the diagram. Once if you are sure about this diagram, Some X length is immersed, no? No. Okay. So this is what? What all you can say, when X length is pushed down, X length will get into the liquid. Will I agree? Just don't get scared anything, or don't need not to bother anything. Just only this was the initial level of liquid. So what should happen to the level of water? Should increase, definitely. We are very sure. Okay, let's get into how much level of water should increase. This is what my question. Look at the cross section of the container is twice that of cylinder. So how much further increase in volume of the cylinder? AX. We will write below here. This is A. This is 2A, no? So how much of volume immersed? AX of volume is immersed. Then this additional volume immersed, what should come here? Then what is the area of cross section? So now area of cross section of cylinder is how much? 2A, no? So tell me like what can be this H? This Y, I'll write it. So this Y is what we should determine. How to calculate that Y? So AX, shall I write, should be equal to area of cross section of cylinder into area of cross section of the cylindrical area of cross section of wooden cylinder minus area of cross section of the wooden block into Y. So therefore X is equal to Y. So how much rise in level of liquid? Y. So what is Y I should call? Rise in level of liquid in cylindrical vessel. Able to understand this? I think we are this one. Okay, now tell me like what is a buoyant force now? So what should be the buoyant force? Already some h/2 length is immersed, no? So what is the additional buoyant force? Additional buoyant force should be rho g additional buoyant force. So initially there's a buoyant force is acting, FB dash weight of the solid. So now how much it will be? FB dash plus now what is the delta FB? Delta FB, what you can write, density of liquid 2 rho area of cross section 2 rho A G into 2x. What is the density? Okay, density of water rho naught. Okay, I think yeah, we'll keep it rho naught, not 2 rho. I think it's not needed. In terms of rho naught only we'll express it. It's not needed. We'll agree that this is something very important. Okay, let's get into the calculation. What is the work done? So who will push that external force only? So now what will happen? The wooden block is pushed vertically so that it gradually gets immersed in water. Calculate the amount of work done in pushing the block. So as I'm pushing the block, as I am pushing the block. So what should happen to this delta FB? Will keep on increase. It is a function of X. It's a function of X. So some of you are asking, sir, okay, justify. Come forward like this, 2 rho naught AGX. No, what is the work done? The action agent should overcome this much, no? And this is a variable force. So what is the work done? dW equal to delta FB into dx. 2 rho naught AGX into dx. Anybody, what should be the limit? Limit is very important. If you say h by 2, I think there's a problem is there. Any reason for that? Because you look at this one, as the cylinder descends X, the liquid will rise by X, no? So somehow what happened if I push the cylinder h by 4, if I push the cylinder by h by 4, the h by 2 length will get immersed, because if you push the cylinder by X inside the liquid will rise by X. So to get fully immersed, what happened? H by 2 length, what happened? Should get into the liquid further h by 2. Then how much I should push? Only h by 4, the displacement. So this should not be 0 to h by 2. This should be 0 to h by 4. Able to understand the limit? What is this? Work done by action agent to push the cylinder by distance dx. For the cylinder to get into the liquid, h by 2 should, so this everything should go into the liquid, no? But what should be the displacement of this point? Should be h by 4, because if the cylinder moves by x, the liquid will rise by 2x. So therefore the limit should be 0 to h by 4. So this will become a rho naught g h square by 16. Some question he has made it. I'll scroll down. We'll take the next one. One more question is there related to this. One more small idea. Let me share that also. If we have, there's a liquid. This is cylinder. Sigma rho, where sigma greater than rho. Area of cross section of cylinder, let it be A. This everything is a liquid. I just release with the lower end touching the free surface. Then what will be the velocity of this cylinder when it gets fully into the water? So what is our question? Our question is this much. So once when it gets fully into the water, what velocity it will acquire, final velocity. Volume immerse will come, so V naught will write it. Afterwards, what will happen? The velocity of this will remain constant. Also, like the velocity will keep on increasing later part. So I want this V naught. I'll release it. Why it will get into the liquid? Because the condition of the density of solid will be greater than density of liquid. So definitely it will sink, no? So here it will accelerate. Okay, what are the forces that is acting? Weight of the solid, some x length or the y length is immersed. Then the buoyant force will be. Let's get into the calculation part. So what is the question? Find V naught. Once the cylinder gets fully into the liquid, what is the speed of the cylinder? Okay, let's write equation now. Ma is equal to Ws minus Fb. What is M? M should be equal to sigma AH into A. Oh, sigma AH into A. What is the weight of the solid? Sigma AHG. What is the buoyant force? Rho AY into G. So what is the expression for acceleration? What we get, I think A gets cancelled. Sigma Hg minus rho Gy by sigma H. So this will become G minus rho so this is the expression for the acceleration. Okay, but what is asking is asking a speed. So this acceleration, I can write it as V dV by dy. G will be rho G by sigma H into Y. No, initially it is released from rest. V naught 0 to H, 0 to H. First we'll calculate Y, then in the end I'll write it H, that one. Let's see the nature of it. V square by 2 Gy rho G Y square by 2 sigma H. Okay, this is the expression for the speed of the look at the speed. Will it increase or decrease? Speed of this rod, will it increase? As it is getting into the liquid, the speed will increase here. What will be the acceleration? Increases or decreases? So if you plot the graph, the variation, the graph will be of this kind. This is for acceleration. The moment you release, put y equal to 0, then how the graph will be? The graph, what happened, will take shape like this. Then afterwards, it will be constant. It will have a uniform acceleration. And this is what? H. How to interpret, sir, what you are writing actually? What is that graph? Look at the acceleration, put y equal to H. It got fully into the liquid, no? Because this is what y equal to 0 will define. The moment you release, what happens? The weight will act. The weight alone will act equal to G, acceleration. Fine. So now as the cylinder gets into the liquid, the buoyant force magnitude will increase. So therefore the acceleration decreases, but speed will be increasing. Speed will continuously increase. Then once it gets fully into the liquid, the acceleration will be constant. How to tell that? Put y equal to H. So what is the acceleration will be? G1 minus rho by sigma H. So what is the value of this acceleration? So these are the types of small based concept questions can be asked here. So initially it will have variable acceleration. What is the type of motion of the block? Decreasing acceleration, increasing speed. Afterwards, uniform acceleration, constant speed once it gets into liquid. So now it's asking what is the speed V naught. So V naught, for V naught, what we should do? V naught is equal to 2gh rho G H by sigma. Okay, there's the value of the speed once it gets fully into the liquid. Now at that instant only, again, what happened due to acceleration continuously increase. So what is V naught? Speed of the cylinder. When it gets fully into the liquid. So what is the bind force? Bind force depends upon volume immerse. Volume immerse continuously varying. So therefore, definitely what happens, the net force acting on the cylinder will be varying. So variable accelerated motion. This is the idea. So just today what happened, I just brought some problems of what happened, body moving. Then also bind force, you don't bother anything. Just like what is the bind force, density to volume immerse. Volume immerse varies, bind force also varies. Okay, let's take some problems on torque one. I think there's one simple problem, like a bind force can also set up a torque. Already we had a discussion. So one more numerical is what I picked up. You can expect in exams of these kind, questions of this kind. Okay, there's a half of the volume is immersed. Half is immersed, no? Let me just keep some distance. Yeah. Okay, there's a liquid. Now we'll bring a rod. They are connected by a light rod. I think the question is this much. Oh, the rod should come here. No. So what are the forces that are acting? So what is the mass of them? M into M. So show that one. This is mg. Capital letters, sir. They're capital letters. This is the thing. Then half of the volume you must know. So what is the density of the liquid? Rho. So let me directly write it. It'll be easy for me. Rho Vg. So volume also is given. Capital V, that is. So the bind force are equal. Then afterwards, there's a particle which is mg. So this distance is what is saying small l. This distance is what? Capital T. It's very simple problem. So half of it is immersed in liquid. What changes the value of m is tell? It's in equilibrium. I think there's a light rod. It's in equilibrium. For equilibrium, what is the basic condition? Net force should be 0. So for that, so the first equation will be 2 rho Vg minus mg.
Sir, it is rho V by 2 G, no, sir.
V by 2. Off is immersed. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Then this should be only rho Vg. 2 mg minus small mg equal to 0. So this will become rho V minus 3m equal to small m. I think answer over. See, like we do get scared suddenly something new, rod, two bodies connected. Get into the problem, draw the diagram, show the forces, then some, okay, what can be done? See, anybody, human being, what happened? The moment you see question, nothing will flash. But read question, draw the diagram, show the forces. Is it equilibrium? Is it in motion? Any torque is acting? Is it moving? Is it accelerating? Or is it rotating? Identify, then write some equation. Then okay, now you have to analyze, okay, what can happen further. So students, what they're doing, they're reading question, pretty sure that's all finished. And they think that something, uh, something should flash to the question. Nothing, there's no flash, nothing. Read question, draw the diagram, show all the forces. Then look at the, is it equilibrium or it is moving? Or it is translative motion, rotative motion, or equilibrium, or having both translative, rotative. Corresponding to that, write equation. Pretty sure you can, we can manage to some extent. Okay, now the value of L. So it's in a net, as it is in equilibrium, so net torque should be 0. About what point? So since he's asking the value of L, so shall I go for in terms of anything? So directly about 0.0, we can go for it. About 0.0, or if you want, if you about small m, so directly about 0.2. Net torque should be 0. Should be 0. Okay, what are the things? Mg into d minus L capital Mg d minus L. This should be the anti-clockwise. Rho Vg by 2 should be clockwise. Two Mg L clockwise. Rho Vg by 2 L anti-clockwise. Solve it, we'll get expression for L. But we don't know. I think not needed. No, he's asked everything in terms of capital M and rho V. Okay, I think this will be sufficient. So can I apply torque about point A also? Anything, if you want, you can even do also. Net torque about A, 0. Net torque about B should be 0. About any point you can apply it and solve it to get the required answer. I'll scroll down. We'll go for next thing. This is some rod. Density of rod is D1. Density of liquid is D2, where D2, let it be greater than D1. I want instantaneous angular acceleration of the rod. The rod of, okay, I indicate the rod is hinged about one end and released from rest inside a liquid. Find instantaneous angular acceleration of rod. Okay, what are the forces that are acting? The weight mg. It is fully immersed, no? This everything is liquid is present. So then the buoyant force will act. Then here definitely D2 greater than D1. So therefore the angular acceleration will be like this. Okay, let's get into the formula. I naught alpha or torque. Tau naught should be equal to FB into L by 2 minus mg into L by 2. This should be equal to moment of inertia, I naught alpha, buoyancy, D2 ALG into L by 2. D1 ALG L by 2. What is moment of inertia? M, mass is what? D1 AL. L square by 3 into alpha. So D2 only, this all things will come outside. So AG L square by 2. Three G. Check the answer. At that instant only, because as it rotates again, the angle theta will come. In fact, alpha will be varying at that instant only. Find the instantaneous angular acceleration of the rod.
3g by 2l, sir, not 2l.
12 will get, sir.
L cube. Okay, only one L will be there. Yeah. And this what I took rod. Now image disc, image sphere, or cylinder, or any other cone you will inch. Okay, we'll go for the equilibrium of floating objects. This will be some only theoretical ideas. Will not go in depth. Just only theoretical ideas. I think I'll let me plot equilibrium of submerged objects. We'll take it. Now I'll try to draw the set of diagram, then I'll explain. Okay, this is submerged means what happens? The bodies are fully immersed in liquid. They are fully immersed in liquid. So first it will be, I think I'll do one thing. I'll paste the diagrams. Why to drawing will take more time. I'll get the diagrams. Just give some time. Within 2 minutes, I'll arrange the diagrams. Okay. Insert image. I'll give some examples also. And there's some diagrams I'll take it because they'll take more time to draw. Let me take help from internet. Yeah, there's a submerged body. I'm not very sure whether they are part of syllabus. Just stability is needed because a lot of other concepts are needed, which is not there for syllabus. No, just will have a brief discussion, not involving any mathematics. Okay, fine. Okay, now look at the first. Look at the first part of the diagram. I'll minimize it so that you can focus on the first diagram. Now look at this one, submerged bodies. So everything is surrounding liquid is there. Huh? Everything surrounding liquid is present. Liquid is present. So what do you mean by stable equilibrium? Or first we'll go for neutral equilibrium. What do you mean by neutral equilibrium? Where the buoyant force and the weight will act through the same point. Where the what do you mean by same point? The force of action, like the weight. Where the weight will act to the center of gravity or center of mass, better you say. What is the buoyant force? So what about the buoyant force? So B is called as center of buoyancy. So here we define like this. This is called as and C is called as center of gravity. And now you see that both the things we define. What do you mean by center of gravity? We know that one. Where the effective weight of a body will act, or for your convenience, you can also write center of mass. I think that this will really help you a lot. No, what about center of buoyancy? The body will have volume immersed. No, volume immersed. The center of volume immersed of a body will become center of buoyancy. The center of volume immersed will become center of buoyancy. Okay, look at this one now. Definitely you can say like a center of gravity. Center of gravity is what I'm just taking to be here now. Of the body. Center of buoyancy. The center of buoyancy of this body will come here. Okay, now this is in equilibrium. This is in equilibrium. Slightly, I will tilt it. I'll tilt it. Then if I tilt it, then you can see that so no, what will happen to buoyant force? The buoyant force will set up a torque about the gravity. The center of this buoyant force will set up a torque about this one, and it will set up an anti-torque. So it was given angular displacement theta like this. How the torque is acting. Who will set up torque? The buoyant force. The buoyant force will set up an anti-torque in this one. So because of that torque, it will come to the stable equilibrium. Able to analyze this? Sir, how come now you have to ask one good question. Sir, how come center of gravity should be here? Center of gravity should be somewhere here. Here I made it heavier. Some metal, something I'll add it, I'll make this part heavier. So when this becomes heavier, so definitely center of gravity, instead of to be here, it will shift down. Okay, let's not bother. Let's assume that center of gravity lies somewhere here. Center of buoyancy lies above that. When you give slight tilt, the buoyant force will set up a torque and anti-torque will be set up here. So shall we call this a unstable equilibrium? What do you mean by stable equilibrium? When you disturb a body about its equilibrium, if a restoring torque or restoring force will act, it's called a stable equilibrium. A restoring torque is set up. So this is about stable. What about unstable? If the center of gravity lies above the center of buoyancy. Okay, in this case, now you see that one. If I give slight tilt, I'll give slight tilt. Then how the torque will act in same direction. Who will set up? Let's assume that above the gravity, the buoyant force will set up torque. So how the torque will be? Clockwise. Able to analyze? the clock will be, sir, how to calculate the center of buoyancy? It's not a part of syllabus, just only theoretical discussion. Even in our most of the books, there's no discussion on this one. How to calculate center of buoyancy. Let's not bother. The center of volume immerse will lie somewhere here. Let's assume that one. Now the buoyant force will set up a torque about gravity and it will act like this. Or you go back to the rigid body mechanics. From that, if a rigid body is set free to rotate, it will rotate about center of mass. There's the idea, no? If a rigid body is set free to rotate about center of mass. So therefore, the torque due to buoyant force will act about center of mass. It will set up a restoring torque. The same thing here. What about here? Now, neutral equilibrium. You give twist in whichever position the buoyant force and weight will act through that point only. So therefore, you give angular displacement, the body will be in that position only. It will not change its orientation. That's called like a neutral equilibrium. So what do you mean by stable equilibrium? If a rigid body is submerged in a liquid, when you give some angular displacement, if the torque by the buoyant force about center of mass acts opposite angular displacement, it's a stable equilibrium. If a rigid body is submerged in a liquid, totally submerged in liquid, then if you give angular displacement, if the torque due to buoyant force acts in the direction of angular displacement, then it will be unstable equilibrium. What do you mean by neutral equilibrium? You give angular displacement in that position only, the body will rotate. Suppose say like a neutral equilibrium, the idea of that I'll put it. Suppose that there's a, we'll take some arrow as a reference for us. There's a neutral equilibrium. You tilt this body, it will be there in that position only, finish. In whichever position you bring it, it will retain that position. There's a meaning of neutral equilibrium. Get in this one. So I brought some other shape rod again. So here is given a clear explanation, like a diagrams also there. Theta like this, no? And what about theta? Okay, sorry. Theta is like this. Stable equilibrium is explaining. Only stable equilibrium. So for stable equilibrium, what is the necessity condition? The center of buoyancy should lie above the center of gravity. Am I right? So shall I put simplest conclusion? Center of above center of gravity. Here, center of buoyancy lies below the center of gravity. Okay, now you know boat. I think there's a boat. It has to, or boat or ship, what all we manufacture. No? So it should be how we design. We do design it like this, no? So what will happen? What is a boat? Usually it is made up of wood, no? Then what should be the boat? Should be stable or unstable equilibrium? Should be stable equilibrium. For that purpose, what will happen? We will just add weight at the bottom. So then what will happen to, because of this, the center of buoyancy will be somewhere here, center of gravity will come here. I think it'll be in stable equilibrium, no? This is metal embedded at bottom. And also what it will do, it will give protection from any, say like a, the beneath of sea, or say some anything that one what happen, any rocks what happen may damage the boat, no? So it will give protection. The metal here what happen will give protection for the boat at the bottom, and also it will see that it will be in stable equilibrium. So they may test you with this question, why the bottom of the boat, what happen is like given metal coating. Also like some metal layer is formed here, metal layer. Getting some idea, simplest thing. So this is a wood, everything is a wood, some metal layer, I'll put it here. Okay, let's come for, if an object is, I'll take help of this one, second diagram. Stability of floating objects here, stability of floating objects. The topic is I think no, little bit different conditions here you can see. No. Stable, unstable is stilling. So again, the idea is same. What do you mean by stable? Again, the same thing. Center of, if you look at here, the weight will is acting somewhere here. The center of buoyancy is somewhere here. So when I slightly tilt it like this, the restoring torque will be set up in this direction. The restoring torque is set up. You can see this one. So initially what when the buoyancy and weight will act through common point. Let's assume that one here. Now what happened? It is tilted. The angular displacement is given in this direction. Okay, I think I'll show theta here. I think this you may able to understand a little bit. This body is tilted, no? So you can see that it's tilted. Then definitely what happen, the buoyant force what happen, instead of acting exactly below the center of gravity will shift towards right. Are you able to see the center of buoyancy will come towards right? So now we will set up a torque about the center of gravity here. So shall we put this a stable equilibrium? Getting the idea? Stable equilibrium will conditions will come. Now come for this one, unstable equilibrium now. So the now it's in equilibrium, net force, net torque is 0. I'll tilt it. Then the volume immersed, the center of buoyancy will shift towards left and it will set up a torque about center of gravity. It will set up a torque about center of gravity in clockwise. So here, how is the torque? The angular displacement and this W, I'll remove the W from there. It will be easy for you. This weight is not needed. Okay, Delia, no, I think you can better really understand very easily, no? So the weight is acting, center of gravity, I'm showing the weight. Black arrow. Come for this. Okay, now let's get into how is the angular displacement given? Theta like this. How is the torque? Like this. Who will set up torque? The buoyant force. What is the property of buoyant force? It will set up a torque about a point, because if a rigid body is set free to rotate, it will rotate about center of mass. So the torque due to buoyant force now will be in the direction of angular displacement. This is unstable. No, sir, both are floating, but you are not saying anything like say buoyancy, center of buoyancy should be above, center of gravity below. You don't bother. Floating objects, it doesn't matter. Center of buoyancy, center of gravity, the location. But for submerged bodies, it matters a lot. Here, what happened? It's all about the condition. Able to understand the things clearly. So we have, so when you slightly tilt it, the center of buoyancy will shift here, will come here. So it will set up anti-torque. So this will be stable equilibrium. We'll write it. Stable equilibrium. So this will be unstable equilibrium. Restoring torque or turning torque. Means like how do I come to know it's a stable, unstable? Means straight away you can ask a question. So it's all about, you should have the basics clearly. So when you tilt this object, so definitely open, you can see that there's a volume immersed. Earlier, the center of buoyancy will be here. So now you can see this part is more immersed than this part. No. So what do you expect? Center of buoyancy will shift towards right. Here also I gave, see, angular displacement theta was given in same, both are given same direction. But look at the center of buoyancy will shift here towards right. Here it will shift towards left. Able to make a condition so that they can ask you conditions like suppose there's a cubical block. It is submerged in water. Then the density is such that the center of gravity will act here. And the center of buoyancy must act through the center. Center of gravity, center of buoyancy is needed, but their position means don't put condition like this. I told you, please, you have to take my sentences like a below center of buoyancy, below center of gravity, center of buoyancy, above the center of gravity. Okay, that is not a condition here. The floating objects, you have to check in what direction the center of buoyancy will shift when you tilt. Okay, there's a fully submerged body here. So definitely if you release it, the density is such that center of gravity is here. Tell me like, is it in equilibrium? Unstable equilibrium, shall I put, because the buoyancy will act here. This buoyancy, what it does, it will set up a torque. And because of torque, what happen? It will rotate, it will tilt. I should show you torque about center of gravity only. Okay, able to understand? So the thing, so different shaped objects will come. We should, so this is very clear. Huh? The moment you release, what when the bind force will set up a torque, okay, clockwise. So this is not in equilibrium. Don't call stable, unstable. It's not in equilibrium. This condition will come for the above one, not for this. It's not in equilibrium. Huh? So I'm bringing that also. What about this object? Not in equilibrium. Now come for this. So there's a floating object. So floating object, like you should just look at the, when you tilt the body and you have to see that the center of buoyancy in what direction got shifted and how it is setting up a torque. I think this will be really challenging for you. Different shaped objects will come. You should try to, sir, how to look at center of buoyancy. I think it's a quite common sense. No, you can see now. It is here. So when you tilt like this part is having more volume immersed than this one. So center of buoyancy, will it be here or will it be, should be somewhere in this region? The volume immersed, it matters. The center of volume immersed, roughly we can say here. Center of gravity is independent of what? The center of gravity of what? Center of gravity of the liquid or of the body? Center of gravity is of the body. In whatever position, center of gravity will not change its position, will be there only. Center of buoyancy will change its position based on the how much of volume is immersed. I think volume immersed here and here are different. Please do understand. You have a diagrams very clearly. So the volume immersed open, the center of buoyancy should come here. No, should not be here. Should be here. So this will be very challenging for student to identify center of buoyancy. Of course, I'm not asking exact position. I'm just asking a guess. Can be somewhere here. Okay, let's do one thing. We'll take a sphere. We'll get some idea. Now, half of it is immersed. Restoring torque, the one which will bring it back. Restoring, please restore things in your home. What do you mean by restoring? You are getting back. So here what the torque will do, will bring the body back to equilibrium position. What about overturning torque? It will overturn. See, language, all of you are English medium, overturn, which will make it to further tilt, no? If you slightly displace this, what happens? The rod will become almost horizontal. It will get tilted. Whereas this will come back to this one, original position. Restoring couple, if you are unable to. We'll do one thing, we'll write torque. Huh? Center of gravity is here. Center of buoyancy will be somewhere here. I will tilt this body now. This is P1, P2. Okay, the P1, P2 has come. No, P1, P2. Okay, we'll draw our reference line. It'll be much easier for us. See, we have to really analyze with the diagram. Huh? I tilted it. I tilted it. Okay, tell me like now what will happen to the buoyancy? P3, P4. Now where the center of buoyancy should be? Anybody answers? So I'll do one thing. You are going to, there's a volume immersed. You're just going to only tilt it. So even if you tilt it, this what will be volume immersed, no? This is what the volume immersed. So where the center of buoyancy will be there only. Will not change its position. So what is the type of equilibrium it is? Neutral equilibrium. How is the torque? Torque was angular displacement was given like this. And any torque will act, no torque. So neutral equilibrium. So the spherical object, no problem. But same thing, you look at the, this everything is liquid. There's a condition of neutral equilibrium. Of floating object. Okay, let's go for next one. One more condition, I'll bring it. Instead of this, we'll take a cube. Now, L/2 length, L/2 length, this L square. Half of this is what immersed. And now I'm going to tilt it. What conditions will arise? So I think there's no formula. What we have to do is we have to, I think I can rotate it. Yeah, this will be better diagram. Center of gravity will not change, will be there only. So volume immersed, I think the liquid volume immersed will be this much. So different shaped objects will come. So there is what happens, students' ability to draw a diagram and analyze. So where the center of buoyancy, there's a center of gravity, there's a center of buoyancy. Will I right? Is I'm right? Okay, no. So this is the cube, you right? No. Where the center of buoyancy should come. Should be on the left hand side or the right hand side. Should be on the right hand side, no? So how do I come to know? I think that there is a minimum basics what you must have. The center of buoyancy will come here. So then how was the torque given? The torque was, the theta was given like this. And how is the torque is acting now? The torque is acting in this direction. So is it a stable equilibrium? Yes, stable equilibrium. So are you getting the basic idea? So there's no any hard and fast rule. We must analyze through the diagram only. How to look at, how to calculate torque, I think we should get into mathematics, which is beyond our level. So let me just only share the ideas here. Okay, fine. So this is about the stability of the floating objects. So I took cylinder. Okay, this cylinder you have here is this one. I shown the sphere also. Different shaped objects will come. So when it will be there in some equilibrium. If you disturb it, what will happen to that equilibrium is what we are going to work out here. So I think for exams, they'll just ask you only stable, unstable, or neutral. And you must know the methodology to identify it. Okay, fine. So I'll stop the class here. Okay, thank you all of you. Take care. Bye.
Thank
See
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.
Thank you, sir.